Hey guys, and welcome to or back to the Pause and Pursuit podcast with your host, Summer Clark. So it's another monthly Q&A episode, guys. It is June, which is, I say this every single month, but what the hell? We're halfway through the year. How's that happened? How has that happened? But I have 50 more questions from you guys to answer today, so we'll get straight into it. But first, that's a lie, we won't get straight into it. I need to give you a weekly update because it's a very exciting one this week, guys. Arrow finally, me and Arrow, I suppose, got to give myself a bit of credit. We finally got our second champ ticket. Let's go. So we won the medium champ final at Hinckley. Saturday just gone. Honestly, I'm still absolutely buzzing about it. Arrow was so good. Winning the ticket, which is his second. So one more to go for AGCHA status. If anyone doesn't know, agility champion. It's a bit obvious, isn't it? So one more ticket to go. Honestly, do not care if that isn't till next year now. I literally said, I was like, if Arrow can win one ticket every year, that is fine. Just one a year, I'm happy with that. Absolutely thrilled. 5th time lucky this year. I think this is our 5th champ. 5th? Is it 5th or 4th? Maybe 4th. I can't remember. But anyway, 4th or 5th champ this year. And we made every single final this year, which is an incredible achievement considering consistency has been my main focus, our main training goal and what we've been working on in training, aiming to do in competition this year. So, yeah, that's amazing. So we've got that. We'll be competing at Crufts 2027 in the champ event again, which is so exciting. That means we'll be in champ and singles at Crufts next year, which is so amazing. And then we've also obviously qualified for stakes at Worcester, which I already spoke about and announced a few weeks ago. So that means 3 out of 3 of our qualifier goals for the season done, which is amazing. It's amazing. It means I can chill out. It means I don't have to do all the shows if I don't want to, which is basically just the goal, isn't it? Don't need to chase anything for the rest of the season, which is incredible. But anyway, more about Hinckley. So the 2 rounds, we came second in the agility, even though it was literally a rear cross onto a seesaw into nothing. Like the seesaw went into the fence and then it was a sharp right turn off the seesaw. But there was no way for me to get on the correct side of the seesaw without rear crossing Arrow onto the seesaw. And I was like, I even contemplated going like round the front of it, holding him on the bottom and doing a little twiddle at the bottom. But I was like, you know what? No, screw that. We're not doing that. We're running it properly. So I rear crossed him on, sent him on my right, went behind him. He stopped just past the pivot point as expected. And he was like, oh shit, what's happening? This is horrible. So I just went to the end and I was like, come on, target. And he went down and we took like probably 5 seconds, but we did it and still somehow managed to finish second in that agility round. And then in the jumping, we had the fastest time, but he did have a pole down right near the end. This put us 4th overall over the 2 rounds and running 16th in the final. And I walked the course and it was one of these. And I was like, you know what, this is our course. I love this course. And I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm just excited for this. We gave it everything left in the tank and it was an insane run. It just felt so cool. And we won it, which is, thrilled. So that was Hinckley. Obviously, big congratulations to Amy and Ollie for taking reserve. Very, very cool run. Definitely put down a run for us to beat because Amy and Ollie ran before us. So I was like, right, that is the goal. That is the bar has been like significantly raised. So thank you for making us really, really push, Amy. And obviously as well, thank you to Jonathan Hallam for judging the champ on that day. And as I always say, the biggest thanks has to always go to Kate for absolutely everything she's done for me and my mindset this year. For those of you that don't know, Kate is my mindset coach, sports psychology coach, whatever you want to call her. And having Kate commentate our final run at Hinckley was extra special. Kate was there commentating the final, which is really cool because usually in champ finals there's no one commentating. So Hinckley is a very special show for that. I do love Hinckley. So yeah, extra special having my sports psychology coach actually commentating us round our champ final. Such a special, memorable day. It was such sunny. Well, it was really hot as well, actually, which wasn't ideal, but it was just a lovely day, nice vibes. And yeah, to top it off, we won the champ final. What's the day? That was Saturday. Sunday was stakes and singles. So obviously I just wanted to train, test our skills, push, stuff like that, which went well. What happened in the... I just basically held the seesaws for a million years. But in both of the agilities, he went straight to the bottom of the seesaw, as in all the way to the end, like before it even started tipping, stopped. The seesaw dropped on the floor. He was still in 4 on. I went target, and he dropped into 2 on 2 off, which if anyone knows Arrow, he goes through weird phases, and his latest phase, again, has been not wanting to 2 on 2 off, just stopping in the 4 on. So I feel like we got that back finally, which is very, very cool. And that was pretty much what I wanted to achieve at Sundays. Those 2 out of 2 reinforced, held, perfect 2 on 2 off seesaws, especially because it was obviously a very quick release in the champ final, because we knew we had to push because of that run that Amy put down. So yeah, that was Sunday's goal, and that was achieved. His dog walk was also very high. He got it, like I zoomed in and he obviously got it, but it was higher than my criteria really for a dog walk in the champ final on Saturday. So I wanted to get some good dog walks out of him on Sunday. And he had 1 high one, and then his last one was like a perfect deep hit. So I was happy with that. Like I said, that was pretty much what I wanted Sunday for. So that happened. And then what else have we done during the week? Last night we had another medium EOT meetup at Dog Sports Derby. I just did distance work with Arrow because I did wake up with a slight niggle in my knee after the weekend. So I decided, you know what, we'll be sensible. We're going to take it easy. We're not going to push. And I just practice his distance skills with me just walking and sending and stuff like that, which, as I rant on about all the time, is always really, really good to practice. We have done a lot lately. And as we've now, like I said, ticked off all of our 3 qualifier goals for the season. We're going to take a few weeks off now to recuperate before smashing the last 4 weeks of EO prep. That is my goal. I've decided, let's not do Thames. We don't need to do Thames. Obviously, yes, champ, we still want to get more tickets, but we've got them for this year, and I am feeling like I've done a lot. And like I said, my knee does feel slightly tweaked. And I know obviously Arrow's done a lot as well. So I've decided to make the executive decision that I'm going to have a non-agility weekend. I've got a non-agility weekend planned instead of going to Thames. And then we have no competitions anyway then until the .0 IQ, which is in 3 weeks' time. So that gives both me and Arrow 3 weeks to just do little bits of training, but no competing. Then we'll come back and it'll be the 4-week push before we go to France. So that is the current training plan, and that is the weekly update. So without further ado, let's get straight into the questions of this month. So, and this is a funny one. First question, are you enjoying the weather? The person who sent me this will know who they are. I appreciate this question, but let's be real. Am I enjoying the weather? Not really, because it's either too hot or it's either pissing it down at the moment. It's either way too hot to do agility, or like right now this week, it's just back to pissing it down. So honestly, no, I'm not really. But anyway, yeah, that's number 1. Question number 2, what is your advice for someone prepping for / going to their first JOAC? So firstly, congratulations. That's really exciting that you will be competing at JOAC this July. So prepping for JOAC, I would say don't overthink it and don't overdo it with your prep, okay? If it's not broke, don't fix it, okay? Dial it right down if you can. Know your weaknesses, work on those, okay? They're the things that need, quote unquote, fixing in the prep. Okay. Also, not just like little skills or bits of equipment that need, fixing or refining, your weaknesses, but also know what actually suits you and your dog the best. Some people do better prepping with small skills training and doing more of that. Others do better, and I'm one of these, doing more course running, like running full courses. I think as well, it depends on the age of the dog. Younger dogs, I think that are still learning, need more just, the skills, the separate bits, stuff like that. Older, more experienced dogs like Arrow, we benefit more from just doing that course running because that is what we're going to be doing over there and we have all the skills already. So know where you and your dog are at, know your strengths and weaknesses, dial in on your weaknesses, and also know what actually improves you as a partnership the most. What style of prep and training improves your partnership the most and actually brings the most gains and the most benefit, because that's going to be different for you and your dog than it is other people in your team, other people you compete against, etc. So it's just about being really self-aware, basically, and doing what is right for you and your dog. That is more the prepping side of it. And also, don't don't overthink any more than that. Work on that, do that. In your gut, you generally know what you need to do and what works best for you. And then also don't overdo it. Just don't hammer yourself and your dog with prep, because that can lead to injury, that can lead to burnout. It can create problems. Like, if it's not broke, just don't switch up your usual training routine too much, because let's be honest, what you've been doing has been working because you've made the JOAC team, if that makes sense. To make a national team like that means that you're doing something right. So don't overthink it and don't change too much, is what I'm going to say. That's for prepping. As far as going to, with it being your first, please, and I know this is really hard, please just use it as experience and enjoy it. Don't expect to bring home all these medals, because it's literally your first JOAC. Like, it's your, probably, I mean, maybe you've done other international competitions, I don't know, but probably, and especially if it's your first ever international competition, like, that is huge. And you should not, no one should expect to do really well at their first anything, really. That's just not life. It's not generally how humans or dogs work. Just try and think of this year and this event as experience for you to come back next year, the year after, into adult stuff like that. Like that, this year you're getting that experience, so you know what to expect in the years to come, okay? Because developing your partnership is so important, and I think is more important than you meddling this year. You just need to go and know what to expect so that you can come back better in future years, because you're a junior, you know, you've got so many years of agility ahead of you, so many years to represent your country ahead of you. You know, just use this, really try and use this as experience. Okay, and just enjoy it, because it comes around so fast. It goes so fast, and it's only once a year, and it's like a week total is the trip away, isn't it? So just enjoy it. Just savor every moment, you know, spend time with your teammates, make those friends, make those memories, and just enjoy it for sure. And yeah, good luck, because yes, obviously we want to do well, but you know what? If you don't do as well as you want to on paper, results-wise, it's really okay. Like, that's not what this year should really be about, in my opinion. Question number 3. Are there any training programs you recommend following? So I don't actually follow any training programs, but I do know there are loads of online courses for agility out there. I followed Dave Munning's Puppy Foundations course when I got Arrow. I also followed Katerina's Running Dog Walk course with Arrow when he was smaller, when he was a puppy. I have since adapted my own approach to running dog walks and teaching them, and how I trained Arrow to do them using a combination of methods. And I now have my own running dog walk course that basically takes you through that. So if you're looking for something running dog walk specific, I do have an online course for that. So just get in touch and we can discuss that. But yeah, Dave and Katerina, awesome trainers that offer online stuff. I also know Dan Shaw does, Martin Reed and Nara Cuddy at Intershape. There's loads and loads of amazing top trainers. Yeah, I can think of, I think it's, Dave at QMe, Dan at Agility Geek, and obviously Nara and Martin at Intershape are all amazing trainers. If you're looking for sort of online programs over sort of an extended period of time, I think they're more like memberships, so you can dip in and out, you know, you can do the modules that you want, stuff like that. But yeah, if you're wanting running contacts and are, you know, like the way that, you know, Arrow's look, and Arrow does his running contacts, then I have a course. So I have a program for running dog walk specifically. So yeah, there's none that I've done that I'm like, yes, I've done this one, it's amazing, because yeah, the only one I did was Dave's Puppy Foundation one, and it was amazing. So yeah, if you've got a young dog, then that's perfect. But I haven't done any others, but I just know that those ones I listed exist, and I respect those trainers and look up to those trainers. So I'm sure they're fantastic. But yeah, I would recommend obviously my own running dog walk course, because I know the work that I put into that and into getting Arrow's dog walk where it is, and it took a while, but you know, I had to literally strip it down piece by piece to get him to where he is. So yeah, just ping me a message if you're interested in that. But yeah, there's plenty out there, plenty online. And like I said, you've got to find one that clicks with you and your dog, because not all of them are going to, and that is absolutely fine. Same as not every in-person trainer you're going to click with, you know, it's just one of those things. It's not personal, and potentially you have to do a bit of trial and error to find the one that works for you. But yeah, there's lots and lots out there. Question number 4. Tell me more about your foot injury rehab. I've just picked up a heel avulsion fracture. Firstly, I'm sorry to hear that because that sounds extremely painful. And mine was also a fracture. Mine was a stress fracture. So I actually think stress fractures take longer than just normal clean fractures to heal. So if yours is just a normal, like, clean fracture, like you did it in one go, that's probably better. I think that does heal faster. I did mine in end of September 2024. So let's say start of October. And then I was back to running by February. So what was that? October, November, December, January. So 4 months, basically, it took me to get back to running after getting a stress fracture. So it seems like a long time, but in the big scheme of things, it's actually not. The biggest thing I can say is go straight to a private physio. Find a good private physio and pay for it, because they will give you a proper in-depth rehab plan and treatment plan. You can explain what you do, and yeah, that is the biggest thing I wish I'd done from the get-go. And if I'd have done that, it might have been an even quicker recovery, because I spent a month of that faffing around with the NHS, who actually missed it on the first x-ray. Then they found it on the second x-ray. I got a physio through the NHS, obviously for free as they do, and they gave me exercises that made it worse and made the pain worse, and probably did more damage. And then I went private. So I probably wasted a month faffing around with the NHS. So I'd just go straight private. While I was rehabbing my foot, I just made sure to keep my fitness up by doing upper body, core, at home. So I did upper body strength and conditioning, core strength and conditioning. I made sure to prioritise sleep and nutrition. Like, I ate so clean and healthy. I slept so many hours a night because I couldn't do a lot else. I was pretty much stuck at home. Couldn't drive, couldn't really even walk. So I just dialed in on all the other things while it healed, and really threw everything into that rehab and doing exactly what my physio said. And I think that's what did it. You just have to commit to the rehab process and trust the process and trust your physio. And then, just go off their guidance, explain that you do agility, make sure they know what that involves, what that looks like. And then they can tell you when to, start getting back to it, gentle running, etc., etc. You just need the support of a good private physio. That is my biggest piece of advice. I wish I'd done it straight away. And if it happened again, which God, please let it not happen again. But if it did, I'd do that again. I go straight to a private physio. But also, don't be naughty. Don't rush the process of rehab. Don't try and walk or run on it before it's fully healed, because that'll just set you back further and further and further. As most of you know, I didn't have to, but I chose to not run at Olympia because it just wasn't 100% better yet. And I probably could have strapped up, painkillered up and just pushed through. But I was like, no, because then it'll take even longer to heal and I'll be out for some of the next season. Because obviously then I had Crufts as well. So I was like, well, I might then be out for, tryouts are my main priority in February. Like, Team GB is always my priority. So I was like, I'm going to ditch Olympia so that I could definitely perform and be fully healed and perform well at GB tryouts in February and Crufts in March. So, be sensible. Do what your physio says and don't rush back into running, because then it'll be a huge long process and you'll miss even more of the season. That is my advice. Good luck. Hope it's a speedy recovery, and I hope it was a clean break and not a stress fracture, because I hear that they don't take as long to recover because it's just one clean break, 2 bits of bone to go back together instead of loads of little bits of bone. Again, not professional, it's just what I've heard. I'd like to hear more about that. Keep me updated, what it is, how you did it, etc. Good luck. Question number 5, for non-UK listeners, could you explain a bit more about Champ Tickets and the UK system? So Champ Tickets, basically, like I explained in the intro, you do an agility and a jumping round at a champ show. Top 20 from the results combined, combine the 2 results from the agility and the jumping, that combined top 20 goes through to a final. And then the winner gets the champ ticket and the reserve gets the reserve champ ticket. Reserve champ ticket, you actually don't get anything from that, except obviously bragging rights and the physical pride, physical rosette, trophy, certificate, whatever. But the actual champ ticket, that is your ticket to the championship event at Crufts the following year. And if you win the Crufts champ final, like we nearly did this year, but the wall, oh my God, I'll never get over it. If you win that, then you become an immediate champion, and your dog becomes an immediate champion. So they have Agcha, so agility champion, in front of their kennel club name for life. And then you also qualify for the following Crufts automatically as well. So technically you don't have to do any champ that year if you win it at Crufts. But yeah, so a champ ticket qualifies you for the following year's champ event at Crufts, where you have, again, your 2 rounds, your agility, your jumping, top 20 into the final. Not top 20. I think it's less. Obviously, it's less. At Crufts, I can't remember what it is, but it's, yeah, because I think it's top 10 that go through at Crufts. I can't remember, something like that. Anyway, but yeah, so at a normal champ show, it is top 20 go through, and then obviously you get the winner and the reserve from that. But unless you win Crufts, so you need 3 champ tickets for your dog to gain champion status. But winning the champ final at Crufts counts for 2 tickets, 2 normal tickets, and therefore makes you an automatic champion, because obviously you won your ticket to get to Crufts, then winning Crufts is 2 more tickets technically, so you're a champion. If you don't win it at Crufts, you need 3 regular standard champ tickets to become a champion. Hence Arrow now has 2, he just needs 1 more, and then he is an agility champion. So that's champ tickets. Also, you need a clear round for your champ ticket to count as well, I'm pretty sure. And although I don't know if that's ever happened I'm not sure if it's ever happened where someone has technically won a champ final with faults. I'm not sure. If anyone's heard of that happening, please let me know, but I don't think it counts. And as far as the UK system goes, just the general UK winning up system, I'm guessing you mean. So in the UK kennel club shows, you've got 7 grades, and you need, again, I don't know it because I haven't had to grade up a dog in so long now. Arrow's nearly 7 years old and has been grade 7 for God knows how long. But you need a certain amount of wins in agility and jumping at kennel club shows to grade up between the grades. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When you're grade 7, you can then enter champ. Okay, only grade 7 dogs can enter champ. And yeah, the amount of wins needed to grade up is different depending on the grade. Like, it gets harder, for example, to grade up from 5 to 6 and 6 to 7 than it does 1 to 2, 3 to 4. Like, it keeps the amount of wins needed at each grade goes up as you get higher up the grades. And yeah, what else is in the UK system? You can also get agility warrants. So bronze, silver, gold, platinum and diamond. Arrow has his diamond now. And that is points. So for example, in the UK, if you win a standard kennel club agility class, you get 20 points. Second is 19, third is 18, etc. And for jumping classes, first gets 10 points, second gets 9, 8, etc, etc. And that's how you get your warrant points. Some people don't bother with warrant points and counting points and getting warrants, but I like it. It's something else to do, work towards. I like a goal. So that also happens. Bear in mind, though, in the UK, there's obviously kennel club shows, which are the main ones, and then you also have unaffiliated shows. So you can progress in, within certain unaffiliated shows. They have their own progression, own little potentially league, stuff like that. But kennel club is the main UK kind of system for agility. And I think that's pretty much what we have. Obviously, we've got other qualifiers in the UK, like Novice Cup, which you have to be 3 to 5 to enter. Stakes, which is 5 to 7. Singles, which is 6 to 7. Singles is, again, an event that you can qualify for at Crufts. Stakes is for Olympia or the London International Horse Show in December. But yeah, we have all sorts. But if there's any other events in the UK that you'd like to know about that I haven't really gone into detail during this episode, then again, just pop me a message and we can talk about it. Question number 6. How can someone from abroad compete in the UK at normal shows? So by normal shows, I'm guessing you mean kennel club shows. So you'd have to register your dog with the kennel club. I'm actually not sure how it works abroad. I'm not sure if you can link, because you have the American kennel club. Oh no, I don't know why I just assumed you were from America. I actually don't know. So I'm assuming, for example, then, if you're American, you've got the American Kennel Club. If you're from Sweden, you've got the Swedish Kennel Club, whatever like that. You've got your own kennel club, I'm guessing. I don't think that transfers to the UK Kennel Club, if that makes sense. So I think you'd have to register your dog with the UK Kennel Club. And depending what breed it is, I guess it depends if the Kennel Club recognises that breed. If it does, you can just register it as that breed, I'm guessing. If not, you can register it on the activity register. That's for breeds that aren't recognised by the Kennel Club as like pure breeds, if that makes sense. So you'd just have to register your dog with the British Kennel Club. And then I think that's it. You can just enter. You can just get your Plaza account and you can sign up and then you can enter shows, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, if you're coming over to the UK, then yeah, I think you just have to get registered with the Kennel Club, to be honest. Never really thought about that. It's an interesting question, but yeah, I think that's all it takes. And then yeah, obviously there's Plaza. They're the show processors. So there's a few. There's Plaza, Showtime Online. What else is there? Agility Aid, but most shows now are Plaza. That's for Kennel Club. As far as unaffiliated shows go, you don't have to register your dog with the Kennel Club. You could just literally come over here and enter the show, again, on Plaza or whatever show processor it is. But for Kennel Club shows, which is the majority of them that I go to personally anyway, you'd have to register with the Kennel Club here in the UK, I'm pretty sure. Question number 7. Do you have any tips or drills for increasing speed? So obviously Arrow struggled with this. I would say the biggest thing is relationship building and confidence building. Okay, the better relationship you have with your dog and the more confident your dog is, the faster they're going to run, because they're going to trust you because they're in that ring with you. So if they trust you, they're going to run faster because they're going to feel more confident and comfortable because you're there and they trust you to run faster, if that makes sense. Confidence as well. Confidence brings speed. Like, confidence is the thing that brought Arrow's speed. And to get him more confident, I just did lots of training. Well, I say lots. Regular, short but regular training on equipment, with skills, stuff like that. And as he got more confident with each piece of equipment, each skill, like jump skills and stuff, he felt more confident and comfortable performing it in the ring. And he got faster at it because there was less thinking involved for him because we'd refined it so much in training, if that makes sense. And yeah, I think I know it's so annoying to hear, but just time, like just waiting, just trusting the process and being patient and just keeping exposing your dog to the environment will hugely bring confidence, again, which will bring speed. I think as well, something that will help with speed is, and I'm going off the back of, your dog's more nervous, that's why it's not fast, and that's why it needs its speed increasing, but maybe it's not nerves, maybe your dog is confident, but they're just not as fast as you want. In that case, again, I'd always say, get them regularly checked and treated by a physio, because that rules out any niggles, tightnesses, anything that's uncomfortable. Because if they're even slightly tight or uncomfortable, they're not going to go at their top speed. So I'd definitely do that first and foremost. That goes hand in hand with strength and conditioning exercises. So your physio will probably give your dog specific tailored strength and conditioning exercises to, fix any imbalances or anything like that. And build muscles where they need to be built and stuff like that. And if your dog has a bit more muscle, then they're going to be more powerful and they're going to go faster. I think as far as drills and stuff go, I'd stick to things that are easy, simple, straight. Just get your dog blasting out through straight tunnels and jumps to toys. Stuff that encourages speed. Okay, you want to be making sure you're running the courses that encourage that speed and allow your dog to open up. By open up, I mean get into full extension and really just run. Sometimes I think on some courses, especially, your standard kind of British style courses, I think our dogs don't get the chance to open up and reach their maximum extension and speed. And if they can't practice that very often, then it's not going to be, maybe they don't know they can go that quickly because the courses they've been running and the skills they've been doing don't actually involve any extension, if that makes sense. So making sure that your dog gets to practice opening up and running at its full speed, and just getting your dog to run across the ground, to a toy without equipment, that'll hopefully show you your dog's top speed and what you want to work on achieving in then an agility environment too. But yeah, I just do lots of fast, easy bursts and drills like that and just get the enjoyment and confidence up, and that should bring the speed. And also things like jump grids, cavalettis, proprioception work, that will all help with your dog's bodily awareness and how well they manage their own body and how well, how they know where they are in space. They know how to, sort out their feet. They know where to put their feet and stuff like that. That all helps majorly. If your dog feels strong and stable, and, smooth on his feet, then he's going to feel more confident to run full pelt without worrying about falling or stumbling or anything like that. Okay. But if you want in-depth drills and stuff like that, then just message me. That's something I can go into more detail about. But yeah, I could talk for hours just about that. But yeah, those are my surface level tips and a few drill ideas. But yeah, message me if you want some more information on that. But yeah, just keep going, and especially if you have a young dog, you'll find that it will come. Okay, it definitely will come, so keep at it. Question number 8. How do you know when it's time to retire a dog? I think you have a gut feeling. I truly believe people, we know when our dogs have had enough. We know when it's time to retire our dogs. For example, Ethel retired quite early. She retired at 8, even though she had a physio, a strength, everything like that. I took such good, well, I still do, but I mean, during her career, she was, fit, healthy. I did everything I could to prolong her career, but I could just see her struggling. I think measuring is a big one. So stuttering before jumping. Bunching up over jumps, stuff like that, just physically looking in discomfort. Also how your dog is after a run, so even the morning after training or a competition. Are they really stiff? Do they take ages and ages to recover? Which obviously is going to impact their quality of life, of normal life, away from agility, stuff like that is all important to consider. But generally, I think when your dog is struggling. When you think, yeah, my dog's struggling, despite all these things I'm doing to help them stay fit and comfortable and healthy and supple. I'm doing all the things, but they're still struggling. I think that's when you have to really think, yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe this dog has had its career and now maybe it's actually doing more harm than good. Because if it's causing discomfort and pain, it is no longer worth it, in my opinion, at all. So that is when I would retire a dog, when I feel. And every dog moves different. Some dogs look to me I'd see a dog and think that looks uncomfortable, but the owner's like, no, that's just how it always has moved. So only you really know, and you can tell if your dog is struggling now. And if they're, what's normal for your dog. If that's no longer there, if they're now moving abnormally, suffering afterwards, they can't recover, stuff like that. Maybe they're having a lot of little trips or face plants or stuff that wasn't there before. I think I generally believe that you can just tell, unfortunately. And I know it's a hard decision, but I definitely think it's better to retire a dog even slightly before you maybe have to, rather than wait until, they're really, really struggling and really uncomfortable to do it. I'd probably personally retire them before it got to that point, if that makes sense. But you will know. I generally think when it's no longer serving them. They're no longer, even if they seem to enjoy it in the moment, are they, like I said, are they then struggling to recover? Are they stiff the whole next day, stuff like that? Because we can't explain to our dogs why they're uncomfortable, why they're in pain the day after. They're just trying to do what we want them to do and we're asking them to do, which is the agility. So yeah, you can tell if it's hurting them, if it's causing discomfort. I don't think that's worth it anymore. It is defeating the object, because agility is meant to enrich our dogs' lives, and when it's no longer doing that, I don't think we should be doing it anymore. All right, next question is, what are your plans for the rest of the summer? Well, I will tell you. So I was meant to be at Thames this weekend, but I'm not going to, because perks of having a successful May. Going to give myself a non-agility weekend to let this knee sort itself out, and do some non-agility things for a change. Next weekend, not weekend off, but no competing. On the 14th, I'm having a few of my medium EO team teamies at my field again. So that's next Sunday. Weekend after is 0.0 IQ on the Saturday, and then I've got Axtane on the Sunday. So fingers crossed my knee will be completely sorted out by then. Anyway, if not, it's getting strapped up. Following weekend off. Weekend after that is Synergy IQ on the Saturday. And then the weekend after that, again, more GB training at mine on the 12th, which is a Sunday. Then, obviously, the following weekend is EO, okay? Oh, God, I'm joking. But yeah, the following weekend, I leave for EO. Then there's EO. And then I'm not going to lie, I haven't got anything else planned or booked except for KCI, which is obviously in August. So I get back from EO on the 27th, and then I believe KCI is the 6th to the 9th of August. And that's all I've got booked in so far. There'll be more, but I haven't booked anything else as of yet. But yeah, that is what the rest of my summer is currently looking like. But yeah, still more, obviously, August, September, stuff to book. But I'm not even thinking about that yet. To be fair, I nearly missed KCI closing date. It closed like yesterday, I think. And 2 days before that, I just happened to open Facebook and someone was like, don't forget, KCI closes in 2 days. I was like, what? I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't opened that Facebook post. Because that's so early. Does it normally close that early? Anyway, I should know by now. I've been doing it for so many years. But anyway, those are my plans for the rest of the summer, as in what I've booked so far. But yeah, more to come. Question number 10. How do you know if and when you need a break from competing? I'm feeling super burnt out lately. The fact that you're feeling super burnt out lately means that you probably need a break from competing. If you're feeling mentally burnt out, as in you are not enjoying it, you are finding yourself getting irritated by it, just not enjoying it, and maybe your performance isn't great either, like you've taken a dip in performance because you're not there mentally, then I think you should take a break. Again, a break could literally be 2 weeks. It could be a month, it could be a few months. Completely up to you. But if you're feeling mentally burnt out, 100% take a break. You will come back more energized, enjoy it way more. Definitely. Every time I have a break from agility, I come back wanting it more mentally, okay? Physically, it's more obvious. For example, I've got this niggle in my knee. That means I need a break from competing running in general, because I've been doing so much lately. I'm going to take a break for 3 weeks. That is my break. I will come back hopefully physically rested, recovered, and ready to go again. And I think that will also help my mind as well, because I have been going so hard lately. That's the other thing as well. If you know you've been doing a lot lately, yeah, then even if you're not feeling really burnt out or, in pain or something like that, then maybe, prevention's better than cure. Maybe just give yourself a few weeks anyway. We don't need to be doing it every single weekend in, weekend out. I mean, it is a bit different for me. I'm privileged in the fact that I've qualified for all my goals. So I can just give myself a few weeks off. I can, I've entered shows, but I don't have to go. I can withdraw, have a rest weekend, whatever. But, even if there's still things you want to achieve, just be careful if you push too hard for them in one go, then it may be that doesn't suit you and you do get burnt out, like I said, either mentally or physically or both. And you don't want to get to that point, ideally, because you can be out for more in the long run. That's why, I'd say the minute you feel a niggle, stop until it's better. That's what I'm doing. Literally the day I felt it, I was like, right, that's it. No running till it's fully better. And then build back up. Okay. Same with mentally. If you go to a show and you're like, I'm not enjoying this, or you finish a show and you think, I hated that. That was annoying. Just wanted to get it over with. Don't go to another show for a couple of weeks, at least. Okay. Give yourself, just stop it there. And then give yourself a break and then come back and you'll want it more because you haven't done it in a while. Does that make sense? It could literally 2 weeks will do it. If you need longer, fine. That's great. Like, give yourself that. But yeah, I think when you need a break, either mentally or physically. Like, be honest with yourself with it. Do I feel any niggles? Am I super tired? Have a break. Am I irritated by agility? Are my results dipping? Is my performance dipping? Have a break. Okay, so I think your gut knows, when you need a break, don't you? And it's absolutely okay. We all need breaks. We're not built to go all the time. It's not good for us. And yeah, absolutely have a break. Okay, next question is a hot topic at the moment, isn't it? I see it all over Facebook. And that is, do you think show organisers should cancel their shows when it's hot? No, I don't. I've seen, like I said, I've seen a lot of this going around, a lot of it on Agility Net. People have been asking me in person, students, stuff like that. I don't think show organisers should have to do that because every partnership's different, every dog's different. Some dogs are absolutely fine in the heat. Some dogs hate it. Some dog, like I said, Arrow's fantastic in the heat and I know exactly how to manage it as well so that it's safe and he feels good. and he's comfortable and he can run well and enjoy himself and he isn't struggling. We've got that down to a T. Therefore, we can still go to shows in the heat. Okay, if the show organisers cancelled it, all those people like me with dogs that can cope and people that can cope and know how to manage that situation well wouldn't get to compete at that show, if that makes sense. So what about that population of people and dogs? Yes, there's going to be people and dogs that can't cope with it. Fine, don't go to the show. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one of those, isn't it? It's just the same as going into a run, walking a course, and maybe the lines don't suit your particular dog. Shouldn't me, that just don't run it, but other people still will. Does that make sense? I don't think running it's not a one size fits all thing. Every dog and handler is completely different. And I don't think you can't put everyone into the same box, if that makes sense. So I don't think show organisers should have to cancel their shows when it's hot, when it's raining, anything like that. Unless I think the only time I'd say is if like the venue is flooded. Do you know what I mean? Like that's happened before where a show's been cancelled like years ago when I used to compete with Ethel still. And the showground was literally flooded. Like you'd have to run in puddles. Oh, this also happened at KCI like years ago as well. Like that's fair enough then. But, otherwise I think it's up to the handlers and dogs. It's up to the handlers to be sensible and advocate for their dog and themselves. That's part of being a dog owner, isn't it? Like the streets don't get closed down when it's hot, but we all have the common sense not to walk our dogs on hot pavement when it's like 30 odd degrees. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that for me. So that's my personal opinion. Don't come for me, but yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? And everyone will have a different opinion, and that's fine. Like you do you. Like it's not your choices are your choices, not the show organiser's choices. Like you can make your own responsible decisions for yourself as a handler and a dog owner. I believe, in my opinion, every dog owner takes on the responsibility to make those choices themselves when they get a dog. In my opinion. Question number 12. Do you think you'll ever judge again? Never say never, but at the moment and for the foreseeable, no. My body can't handle it. Any more exercise, any more standing, any more being up and about doing things at the moment, I cannot do it. I break anyway, okay? And I want to be super fit and super able for actually competing and doing agility with Arrow. That is my main thing. That is my passion. That is my job. Obviously, teaching as well is my job. So I'm prioritising competing and teaching. Okay, teaching is very much like judging physically. You're up on your feet, you're walking around, you're setting courses, moving equipment, stuff like that. I don't need any more of that in my life at the moment for my own health. And also because I don't want to burn out of agility mentally either, because my life is competing and teaching. I feel like I just don't need to add any more into that at the moment, okay? I was doing a lot of judging when I wasn't teaching. Now I'm teaching. I feel like both is unnecessary. Maybe one day we'll see what life brings. Who knows what's going to happen in a few months, a year, few years, whatever. But for the moment, no. My focus needs to be on being the best agility handler and competitor as I can for myself and Arrow, because obviously my priority is my performance in agility, being on Team GB and stuff. And then obviously I need money, so I'm teaching it for a living. And that obviously has to be a priority because of money. Okay. Judging does not bring me the rewards that those do. So I can't grammar today, can I? So yeah, that's why I'm not judging. And no, I have no plans to judge again. But like I said, we'll see if circumstances change. But for now, no. I always like to say never never though. So, that's, yeah, never say never. But for the foreseeable, no. 13. Would you ever go to Scotland or Ireland for champ? The only time I would ever do that is if I was going for a holiday. I would never go just for champ. It would have to be a holiday. I would have to have a few days either side, at least a day either side as an actual holiday. I wouldn't just go because I want a ticket, if that makes sense, because that, in my opinion, puts too much pressure on getting the ticket. Like, I would come away from that thinking, if I don't get the ticket, this trip has been a waste of time, money, a failure, etc. Okay, so I'd have to be going for the purpose of having a holiday in Scotland or Ireland, and just the show is in with that holiday, if that makes sense. So yes, I would go to Scotland or Ireland for a little getaway. Sounds great. But but I wouldn't go solely for champ. Like, I'd tie it in, but I wouldn't go just for that, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't rock up the night before and leave the morning after. Do you know what I mean? I'd want to make it into a holiday while I was there. Otherwise, it's just too far to just go all that way for, 2, maybe 3 runs that could not be on my side. It could, I could have a pole or something like that. So, yeah. But I would love to go. I would definitely love to go to both those places and maybe tie a champ show in. But yeah, I'd like to go anyway, to be fair. Take Arrow, it'd be great. 14. What do you eat on a show day? I find it hard to eat healthy when I'm away. So I will take you through a quick what I eat in a day on a show day. So the night before a show day, I make my breakfast, which is 2 Weetabix crushed up with milk, left to set for a little bit, like 10 minutes. Then I put yogurt, about 100 grams, few scoops, spread it over the top, so it's like a cheesecake. So you've got the yogurt and then the, quote-unquote biscuity base of the Weetabix underneath with the milk. Put that in the fridge overnight. In the morning, I put my toppings on it. So I'll put berries, fruit, honey and peanut butter on that. Voila, I have that on a show morning with the coffee, obviously. Then I will have probably about 10 a.m. or so, I'll have a handful of nuts just to keep me going, because usually I'm eating that breakfast at like 6, half 6, something stupid. Then at lunchtime, like 12 or 1, I usually have a bagel or a sandwich with something, could be anything, like tuna and mayo and sweet corn, or chicken avocado, salmon and avocado, ham salad, mackerel salad, anything like that. Then I also have an apple at lunchtime, green apple, love an apple. Then around 4, I will have a homemade granola bar. I have posted the recipe on my feed, so scroll down a bit and you'll find that. It's full of protein, carbs, all the things for energy, and I usually have a decaf coffee at this point, maybe a full caffeinated coffee if I'm feeling dead or I have more runs to do. And then dinner is whatever I have when I get home. And I always have to have something sweet after dinner. So I have some chocolate or dark chocolate or whatever. So that's if I'm going home on the show day. If I'm not going home, then it's just what I can find. So maybe I'll go to the pub and have a steak or something, or eat out. I'm not picky. If I'm staying in a hotel on the night of a show, I'll just have something from the hotel restaurant, or find a pub. Not even opposed to a Mackey's. I used to have grilled chicken wraps, because that's the healthiest option at Mackey's, but they've done away with grilled chicken. So now I usually have a fillet of fish, and come for me about that, because I know loads of people hate them. But yeah, I'm not too picky with dinner. That's whatever. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I eat throughout a show. It's about being prepared. So I have to prepare breakfast, lunch and snacks before the day. If you don't do that, you're screwed. You're going to have to eat at the show, and usually they're like burger vans and they'll make you feel like shit. So yeah, the day before a show, you have to prepare breakfast, lunch, snacks. So granola bar, nuts, I'll do all my snacks as well. And then your whole day of food is sorted. And then yeah, dinner, I either do eat out or I just eat whatever I eat when I get home, which is what I normally have on a normal day at home for dinner. So yeah, that is what I eat on a show day. Last question. My dog turns like a tank. How do I fix this? So there's, again, I could be here all day talking about this. Go back to wing wrap foundations. Train your really tight wing wraps as if you were teaching them from scratch. Also, I tell a lot of my students to teach and practice double wing wraps as well, so that if your dog turns really wide on a wing, then you can ask for another wing wrap, as in a double wing wrap, and reward that one instead. And yeah, that just really encourages those tight wing wraps, tight turns. Reward placement as well. When you are teaching turns and wing wraps, put the reward where you want your dog to finish, and they'll get used to that being there. That'll build muscle memory, and they will start preempting, turning for their reward. What we want to see really is especially on wing wraps, is dogs starting to turn as they jump. Okay, so as they take off, they jump in a way that promotes that turn, if that makes sense. Also, having really good verbals, so your dog knows the difference between soft left, soft right, and tight left, tight right, okay? You need really solid verbals, so you can start saying those super early, so your dog can preempt the turn. If you let your dog start to jump and then say the cue, it's almost too late for a nice turn, because your dog hasn't taken off in the way that they need to start turning. Like, it all happens before the dog even takes off. Like, their decision is made how they're going to take a jump. So you need to be really prompt with your verbals and the better you can teach those, the more, the quicker your dog's going to respond to them. So yeah, I think that is my main advice for turning. But if you want more advice, if you want any more drills, please just message me, and we can, again, a bit like a question earlier, we can talk more in depth about that specifically, because like I said, I could literally be here all day. But that is all the questions for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did enjoy it, please leave the podcast a 5-star rating and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That would mean the absolute world to me. Also, make sure you're following the podcast so you don't miss a future episode. Also, keep sending me your podcast topic requests and recommendations. So things you want me to talk about in solo episodes, and also guests you would like me to have on in the future, and what you would like me to talk about with those guests. You are pretty much guaranteed to have your idea turned into an episode, because I'm just that good to you. Also, if you are having a training issue or just want to improve one of your dog's skills, please follow my link to Safe Stride Solutions and treat yourself to a training aid or two. I cannot recommend them highly enough. They have helped me and Arrow out. They have helped all of my students out so much already. Yeah, treat yourself. Just treat yourself, okay? If you've had maybe ticked a goal off recently, or had a mini win or a big win in your training journey recently, treat yourself to a training aid. You deserve it. So yeah, that link is in the description of the episode. So please do follow that and get yourself some training aids. What else do I say? Oh yes, please do follow me on social media. I am at Paws in Pursuit or Summer Clark on pretty much all of the platforms, especially Instagram. So follow me over there, and you can keep up to date with what me and Arrow are getting up to. Even though we're going to have a quiet few weeks now, you can still see what's going on. That is also where I promote guest episodes, and you can ask the guest that I'm having on the podcast questions over there. So yeah, if you're not following me on Instagram, you are missing out big time. If you would like to be taught by me, if you would like to have an in-person agility lesson with me at my venue in Lincoln, again, just message me on social media. We can get something booked in. I would love to help you guys out with your season, achieve your training goals, fix any issues, etc., etc. Just level up if you're looking to level up for the rest of the season. I teach both one-to-one lessons and group classes as well. So if you're interested in either of those, then please do get in touch. Think that's everything I have to ramble about this week, guys. I know this podcast episode is coming out on a Thursday. I was very much behind because, like I said, I've just been flat out lately. But it's here. It's up for you guys. 24 hours late, you'll survive. It's here. Haven't let you down too badly. Sorry if you had a terrible Thursday without an episode, but it's here now. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will speak to you all next Wednesday at 8 p.m. as usual. Bye, guys.